Happy Thursday. It's June 26th. I'm Jen Schiffer, and this is my stream. I am coming to you from Jersey City. 22 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than the last couple of days. So I'm feeling pretty good. I left the house. I got my almond milk iced latte. And I'm ready to stream. So if you're live, hello, thanks for joining me. Got Stefan in the chat. How's it going, my dude? And if you're watching the video on demand, VOD, if you will, later on, thanks for joining me. Say hi in the comments or find me on socials. So, as I mentioned, it's cooler today. We are past the heat wave. We have a high of 86 degrees. It's still hot, but it was 80 when I went outside and got my almond milk iced latte. We got Marty in the chat, the crew. So I got that to drink. I brought a cup of ice for my sugar-free iced tea. It's flavored water. Stay hydrated, my friends. Cheers. Yesterday was a fun one. Yesterday, I started hosting for my Blue Sky bot. I'll show you quickly what we ended up doing there. Let me clear off my desk because I'm getting kind of fidgety now that I feel like I'm kind of coming out of this like husk of escaping the heat. I'm ready to go. I'm going to aerial yoga tonight. I haven't been in a week because Monday through Wednesday was way too hot for the commute and yoga itself. So I'm looking forward to my tension-free inversion, hanging upside down like a bat. And yeah, let me clear my space, my drinks, put on a little perfume oil while I've got it here. This is this one's called Poltergeist, which is what I want to be when I grow up. So I'm manifesting. Okay, so Marty said being able to open the window say Manhattan is the best. Yeah, and I'm going into Manhattan tomorrow for therapy, and I'm glad that it will not be when it's 100 degrees outside. And Stefan's deeply struggling with some Monaco VS Code implementation, which is agnostic of the temperature, I imagine. Good luck, buddy. What are you... Are you trying to implement an app with Monaco in it, or are you trying to make like a plugin or something for VS Code? Yeah, maybe somebody here will be able to help out. What else is going on? Let's see. I got up early today. I'm reading Braiding Sweetgrass. I finally hit the 200-page mark. It's like I'm halfway through. I'm just over halfway through the book. It's really, really good so far. I really enjoy it. I read a couple of essays in the morning. I get up, feed Pumagreg his wet breakfast, take my thyroid hormone, and I have to wait an hour before I can have coffee or food or anything like that. So I go on the couch, I read my little book, and then after I get through a couple of chapters, I look and I see, oh, it's 9:15. It's been over an hour. I can go make coffee. I go make my coffee. I give Pumagreg his little spinch, and then we rock and roll for the day. So, yeah, and it's been nice. I know talking about the weather is probably really boring, but again, we just got out of a heat wave for a couple of days. I finally feel like I have my freedom back. I'm not a hot weather person. I don't know, my father's side's Italian, my mother's side's Norwegian, and I feel like I lean towards the more towards the North Pole center. I don't like the heat. But yeah, let's get into what I was doing yesterday. So, yesterday we moved counting sheep, which is a Blue Sky bot that just counts sheep every, well, now 15 minutes. It's still working. It was at 1 yesterday. I noticed Adam, who was in the chat yesterday, reposted 69. I liked it, but Adam went ahead and... that's the sex number, by the way. And yeah, it's working. It's going great. And how it's running is on Valtown. Valtown is a thing you can do a lot on. So you can create apps, APIs mostly I've seen on here, and there are things that you can trigger. So for my bot, I have my code that counts sheep, and I have a cron job. Cron meaning time. It's a way to trigger something on a timely basis. In my case, every 15 minutes, it will post an incremented count on the sheep. And so I've found that Valtown is great for cron jobs, creating REST APIs, which I have projects that will do, storing data in SQLite. So I'll probably be using that for some of my like old glitch starter stuff, receiving webhooks. I really like the way that they handle module imports. If you want to watch the stream from yesterday, if you go onto my YouTube page, which you're on maybe, and click live. I haven't added to a playlist yet, so it's not on like my main page. I'll figure that out. But yeah, Lonnie says post every 15 minutes, rookie number to be quite honest. Gotta pump that up. I'm glad that you said that. The reason why it's every 15 minutes is because I'm not paying for it. Not yet. I have to figure out what other services I have to pay for that fit into the budget of a candle maker. But if you get pro, you can do it every minute, which is ideal. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens when this hits the character count on Blue Sky. I imagine the app proto API will give an error, and I'm not catching any errors, so it'll probably just break, and then I'll get a notification via email, or if I'm on Valtown right here, telling me that my app broke, which is nice. It's nice that they tell you when your shit's broken. But yeah, here's the code. Importing std blob because Valtown has blob storage, and I'm storing the count of sheep there. And then every 15 minutes, this thing just runs. It logs into the Blue Sky app client. It gets the existing count of sheep. Oh my gosh, my phone just went off. Sometimes I have YouTube on my phone, and then I hear myself start talking, and it scares the living shit out of me. And then I have to compose myself. Where's my coffee? Okay. We get the sheep count. We have a string saying counting sheep, the count, and then a string of the sheep emoji. I don't know if those are sheep. They look like sheep. I'm a computer scientist and candle maker, not an animal scientist. I do love animals though, so no disrespect. After I increment the sheep, I then save that to the blob so that in 15 minutes when this runs again, it goes through the whole thing. And then we create a rich text post. This comes from the @proto API. @proto is the protocol that Blue Sky is built upon. We create a record object. It's a post. What the text is. Again, I don't know what the fucking facets are. When it was created, and then we post it. And that's how this magic happens. So we are at 89 sheep now. In 9 minutes, it'll be 90 sheep. And we'll see how many sheep are at when I'm done with this stream in 500 million hours. Okay, cool. That was a nice recap of what we did yesterday. And it took like 2.5 hours because Adam was in the chat and we talk a lot of shit. Not about this stuff, but about everything. If you want to know how much I pay for therapy, watch that stream. But yeah, so Valtown is a great host for bots. There's other stuff that I want to explore, but what I want to focus on today are my glitch projects that require a WebSocket server. And that's not something like these apps on Valtown. These are like, how would you describe it? It's serverless JavaScript. So there's not like an active node server running all of the time or like falling asleep after inactivity. These are like functions you run at a certain like trigger. So here, this is running every 15 minutes. There's also HTTP requests, like API calls that you can make. So my other val that I have, it's unlisted, is when I make a call to the URL of this val, it returns a JavaScript, a JSON version of a Google spreadsheet that Jamie and I use for our robot karaoke show. So this isn't like an actively running node server, but it's good for like API calls, cron stuff. There's blob storage, SQLite storage, which I haven't explored yet. But what I need for my WebSocket app is an actively running server. So we're going to explore what else can I use to host those, if not Valtown. And I also want to avoid DigitalOcean for that because that would cost money per month for like a single server. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I want to see what is the easiest thing I can spin up. What can I try before I buy? So if you want more context as to what I'm doing, go to support.glitch.com. Glitch is ending project hosting on July 8th. And so while your dashboard will be available and you can download projects, project hosting will be going down. So will user profiles. So I'm trying to pick the projects that I need to have continuously running once July 8th hits and find homes for that stuff. And also in part, I'm trying to find options for those of you in the community who are not sure where to get started, because the glitch community has a wide spectrum of sysadmin DevOps experience, leaning more towards none of that, because like glitch served that purpose for you. And so I know for a lot of people, a lot of folks have been reaching out, kind of panicking of like, where am I gonna like move stuff? The glitch team has created some migration guides and some options. So you go to help.glitch.com. It adds an S there. The S stands for Salesforce. I'm not joking. And here we got migration guides. So if you're looking for static site options, GitHub Pages is one. I use DigitalOcean's app marketplace because for free, you get 3 static sites, and every static site after that is $3 a month. And I have 4 that I need to keep running, and so I'm paying $3 a month to host my main website, my candle store, my blog, and make 8bitart.com, my pixel art editor. So Leventy I use as a static site generator for most of my sites. Love Leventy, and you can deploy to GitHub Pages. You can deploy 11D sites to, I'm sure that you can, I'm sure there's a doc here on hosting. Deployment. Here are all these Jamstack providers. Although, I don't think Edgeo exists anymore. Yeah. I feel like, I don't like Cloudflare as a company. I haven't really used their product all that much, but DigitalOcean does, so there is a Cloudflare layer over my site, which is like ruining my email address links, but it's a whole other thing. I've never used Kinsta. GitLab is an alternative to GitHub. It's not owned by Microsoft, which is a benefit, but they also are like, we're an AI workflow kind of deal, and I don't know, it's strange to me. StormKit, I'm not familiar with. There is a render migration guide. If we check the Glitch Help Center, that has the Salesforce cloud as a favicon. But there's migrating full stack apps to render. I'm going to want to look at this. But yeah, if you're using 11D, there's a whole bunch of these options and documents on how to like use it, how to do it. Love this little guy. So I am interested in looking into render. If you've used render, let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this later. Render.com, which is introducing HIPAA compliant workspaces now with the self-serve BAA. Allows you to deploy apps, APIs, and AI workloads in minutes. I like the purple. Click, done. It's not a POD lyric. They say boom. Lonnie says, if I recall, consists for building sites and merch source for family reunions. Stefan says, I keep hearing good things about Codeberg. Whatever your stack, it runs on render. Build with speed. Link your repo and go live. Then iterate with every push. That's why like a lot of these hosting platforms. When I started getting to doing web development, everything was FTP. You would do like or SFTP if you know you're fancy and secure. But literally, you use an FTP client, you drag and drop files in, and your hosting company gave you like a PHP myadmin panel. But now a lot of stuff is you just write your code, you push it to a Git repo, usually GitHub or GitLab, and then that triggers a deployment to these services. Stefan says, I got my TV Marks app to work on render. It's a big fork of Postmarks. I didn't stay with them, but it did work. Why didn't you stay with them? I'm interested to know. Well, knowing that Postmarks requires an active server, that's good to know. Gosh, if there was a website that I didn't make and my face is the only face on the page, that's crazy. Let's learn about the company. I don't know anything about them. Okay, let's see. They got windows in their office. I'm gonna assume that this is not stock photos, but Fastly, my former employer, they use stock photos on their site. It's which I think it's mad corny. And I said that when the site came out. I was like, stock images? Weird. Anyway, I'm assuming these are not stock images, but okay. Our leadership. I don't know any of these people, but they look like adults. Not that, like, you have to be ageist about who you choose, but you can understand giving pause to a, like, new, youthful startup after going through a massive export and migration of projects after another startup, since acquired, is shutting down. About render. The changelog is still around. Auto scaling, private networking, render Postgres, render key value, persistent disk. That's what I want. Well, it doesn't have to be persistent disk. Infrastructure as code, render API, services, web services, static sites, background workers, cron jobs, Postgres key value, deploy Docker images. I don't have any Docker images to deploy, but it's good to know that that exists there. Toddler vibe coders have changed the world. You best get ready. When I grow up, I want to be an iPad baby. Let's look at pricing. Predictable pricing that scales with you. Hobby for personal projects and small scale applications. That's me. Deploy full stack apps in minutes. Access to web services, static sites, cron jobs, one-off jobs, background workers available via compute pricing. Fully managed database, Postgres, Redis compatible. Up to 2 custom domains with automatic TLS certificates, HTTPS redirects, and advanced DNS configuration. Global CDN and regional hosting. Is it renders CDN? Or are they like using like a Cloudflare white label? Security out of the box. Email support. Since I did not stay with render because I would have to pay to run each app to get access to a persistent disk. It was not too much, but I had a different idea. Yeah, so if you have $19 per month, 500 gigs of bandwidth, collaborate with 10 team members. Okay, so it goes straight from hobby to professional. For teams building production applications. Let's start. Okay, I'm gonna move this out of a different tab and create my account. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Okay, so I'm using GitHub to log in. Render would like permission to verify my GitHub identity, know which resources I access, act on your behalf. Resources in your account could read email. What does act on your behalf mean? You can authorize a GitHub app to retrieve information about your GitHub account and to make changes on your behalf. You know, when we launched Glitch, you had, like, there was a GitHub login, still is, and there used to not be any granular scoping availability. It was like if you enabled GitHub, like if your app used GitHub login and you wanted to give it access to any repo, you had to give GitHub access. You had to get everything in your GitHub. How am I saying, like, oh my gosh, it's been hot. If your app needed access to a GitHub profile for authorization, access to specific repos, it was everything or nothing. And so initially when Glitch came out, and we wanted access to your GitHub so that you could export your glitch projects to GitHub, there was no way to give a more granular scope to like, oh, I only want glitch to have access to my personal repos, not my organizations. It was everything. We split out the GitHub access authorization between login and then between a project. And so you can log in through GitHub, but you would still need to authorize access to your repos in the glitch editor. And I would get asked all the time, like, why is this? And it was like, because GitHub does not have granular scope. Now they do. In fact, their tokens are like infinitely more complicated, but they have to be because there's so much stuff within GitHub. And yeah, Mari says GitHub access controls for APIs are still bonkers, bananas, goofballs. There's like 2 different kinds of tokens. One's like beta, but it's like good, but like it also doesn't have like another thing. It's, yeah, you can like master Git as a program, and then like GitHub is like has become a whole other like beast on top of that in terms of authorization. So I try to be really like I have to think, like, I had to like read through, do my due diligence when I'm like giving access to stuff, because it's very easy to give access to everything, and GitHub is a collaborative platform. I'm part of a number of organizations, and I don't want to accidentally have everybody in the Apache, or I don't even know if I'm in the Apache organization anymore. So I used to work on CouchDB. Oh, is that what our profile, is it just / and Schiffer? Yeah. Okay, I am. I don't want to like be like, yeah, GitHub, you can have access to like all of the Apache Software Foundation projects. So yeah, restrictable tokens are still in beta. But like so many, yeah, it's really, I don't know, like, I guess because the tokens aren't related to AI, Microsoft's like, yeah, we're gonna pause that work. I don't know. Anyway, that's why I'm now looking at this like long doc that's going to hopefully make me clear on like what I'm allowing render to access. And I want to know, what does it mean to authorize GitHub apps to do stuff on my behalf? Okay. Difference between authorization and installation. My sign up attempt is gonna like time out. Okay. Whatever. I'm gonna authorize. I low-key, you want to play conspiracy theory? I mean, it's really not conspiracy theory, it's just like growth hacking. If you are a company that cares about security, as every company should, and you have engineers who use GitHub for personal stuff, you are incentivized to have an enterprise GitHub account, knowing how wackadoodle baloney bullshit GitHub access tokens can be. You don't want developers using their like personal GitHub account. So they probably at an enterprise level, and that like enterprise is king right now, right? That's where the money is, because all the developers got laid off. We don't want to pay for anything. You are incentivized to only work on things that like enterprise requires. So that's my theory. I'll show you what this looks like after I said yes. So now I can select my plan. Select. I did. Plan selected. Select plan. The fuck? Oh, this pisses me off. Okay, I guess I'm done. Cool. Potch Solo just pop it in. Hey Potch, but F Enterprise, I don't think they even pick you up anymore. Shut up, Potch. I'm gonna create a community guidelines blog post on Live Laugh blog, and it's gonna be like no drive-by punny nonsense or RDF schemas. Okay, well, I assume I did what I had to do. Oh great, it carried my GitHub name over. Santa Claus. Okay. New. This onboarding is very confusing because I did select this, but then it has a select plan button, which just takes me to the top of the page. I am using Firefox, which I know is like a very like niche new experimental browser, but it's not uncommon for things to be wonky on there. So some of them, but like I feel like render, if you're enterprise, your devs should be testing on Firefox. Anyway, question mark. I'm gonna open up all these tabs. This is what I do when I'm looking into a service. I'm gonna open my settings and off screen just so that it doesn't show things that I don't want. So I can set two-factor auth. They have a secure token to authenticate with the platform, API keys, SSH keys. They have projects, blueprints, not Blueprints, the game that Andy and I are still playing, by the way. Environment groups or a collection of environment variables, secret files. I should show you this page. Create a new service. Render documentation. Let's look at their quick starts. Node. Is Happy still around? Glitch uses Fastify. I've always been an Express girly. Yeah, sometimes when this happens, I have to click the shield to disable tracking protection. Oh, is that maybe why? It's the Firefox. The Sloman shield. Well, there's a lot of support here. I'm guessing these are Docker images, kind of like DigitalOcean droplets you can have with like stuff pre-built on it, like WordPress, Mastodon. I use those examples because they're the ones that I've used on DigitalOcean. Wow, forum. Shouts out Dev2. Full stack apps, AI chatbot. On LibreWolf, even less works. Oh, they got a lot of stuff here. Let's quick start. Well, first, let's find a glitch app I want to move over. I know what I want to move over. I want to move over. I want to do Robo Motion, I think. What is a fun one I can use? Fast5 webhook receiver. Hello, Fast5 WebSockets. What is the glitch jam that I did that was WebSocket. Oh, it was like gift. Presents or bugs. What the hell's going on here? There we go. Presents or bugs. I don't know why I even like unzip that. Let me just open up in glitch because I can still. By the way, July 8th. It's in less than 2 weeks. I posted on Twitter today, on the Jersey Script Twitter, and on LinkedIn. Because people are still just finding out. And so I'm really trying to be really fucking obnoxious on the internet, being like, guys, July 8th. Because I don't want the glitch team to be overwhelmed when the shutdown happens. I don't know how much actual support from like the Fastly side of their org. Oh, hey Asia, how's it going? Presents or bugs. So Presents or Bugs is a WebSockets app that I did for a Glitch Community Code Jam. And all of you can actually go on there right now. And see, there's one here, and both these presents are me. So if you, and now that I close the window, so now it's just me here. And so all of you can go to presents or bugs.glitch on me if you want. I'll pop it in the chat. And for each of you that are here, you'll see, yep, there we go. Woo! It's fun, right? Now, if you click your cursor, you can toggle between being a bug or a present. And if there's more bugs and presents, the emoji is sad. Because that's just like how the world is. So click and make bugs. Make me sad. Yeah, there we go. Look, oh my god, this is what my apartment when I was a kid looked like. when we lived in Bay Ridge, we had a little toaster oven, and we had like the tiny roaches, and we'd have to open up the toaster oven and smack it and get them get out. We kept the rack for it like in the cabinet, but so I've been desensitized to bugs. That's why Bugs Rock is my candle store. Look at that. Look at everyone in here. So you can do a lot with this. We can like make an app where everyone can draw together. Those exist. But what happens is on the client side, we're making a WebSocket connection to a server, WebSocket server, which is what we're going to do. And it is a recurring nightmare. Try to look, I'm kissing the bug. Oh, I'm eating the bug. So when you do a thing, when you like join the site, you have a connection to the WebSocket server. You are part of you were in the socket. It's probably not the right terminology. And then when you do a thing, it's told to the server, and then the server broadcasts to everyone else what is the thing. And that's why we're all able to see each other and like make changes together. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite. You know, I love like make the background drawable, my pixel art stuff, my like main website thing, but like WebSockets, this is fun. And this is like how you make chat apps and all that kind of stuff. And the fact that like you can do that on the web is pretty cool. So we're gonna migrate this over. So this is my gift giving game. Oh yeah, gift giving was the code jam. So we just have an index here. I literally just have like the initial emoji and the directions. And then there's some client-side JavaScript. And when you join, we create a WebSocket server. You'll see this protocol. WS WebSocket, S for secure. Normally you'll see HTTPS. We're doing a WebSocket server. And so this is on the client side. This is like you right now, you on your browser. So the socket opens and you can get a message from the server. So the server, when other people do things, they're going to tell you. The server's going to tell you if the emoji changes. It's also going to send you all the client states. So everyone that's on that page is a client. Then we render client state data. This is where we like move the cursors of all of the people so you can see them all moving around. Blah, blah, blah. And then like when you do a thing, we're sending the event. We're sending where you are, what your emoji choice is. And it works on mouse and touch move. So remember, if you're doing like a mouse move stuff and you want to work on a phone, just like duplicate, add the touch move event. So that's on the client side. So on the server side, we have our choices. You can be happy or distressed. We're gonna initially be happy. We're using Fastify. We have a helper function to broadcast to all clients. So what packages are we using? Fastify is a WebSocket package, plugin, integration. I forget what they call them. View and static are for like the static page stuff. And so we're broadcasting like the message. We have to handle HTTP requests as well, not just the WebSocket request, because there's an index page. So when you go to presenceofbugs.glitch.me, you're making HTTP requests. So we have to handle that. So one route is the GET request to the index, and we handle that by sending the view. The WebSocket handler is setting a unique ID and adding it to our client states. We have a client states array. Again, all the people that are on the page are a client. And then we have our handlers for messages. When the client messages us, we have to broadcast the new state of where everyone is. And then when they leave, when the client closes the socket, the server knows to remove that client, so we don't continue seeing your cursor. And this is just starting the Fastify server. Server go brr. Cute, Jen. I'm cute. So that's that. So think similarly, if you've ever made a chat app before, when a client enters a message, it goes to the server, and the server has to show that message to everybody else who's in the chat client. So this is really just like, this is why WebSockets are, it's like literally a conversation between all of us humans and the machine. It's beautiful. I love it. It's art. The problem with art though is sometimes it's expensive. So like we have to have an always awake WebSocket server to have it working, which is why you can't use something that just has API calls or cron jobs like Valtown. So that's why we're looking into render. Okay, they use discourse for their community. I'm just trying to close some tabs. This is their feedback changelog. Well, that's cool. Oh, their changelog. I was gonna say they haven't updated this. Their changelog has moved to. That must be very vexing to somebody at render that they cannot change this link to the new changelog, that they have to keep this here. Although they could. I know, I feel like they could manage DNS to do a redirect from feedback at render/changelog to whatever. What services are they using for this? Got the feedback. Powered by Canny. Render uses Canny to manage customer feedback. Cute. So, let's see. I gotta wash my hair, but I got yoga tonight, so I'm like, why am I gonna wash my hair before I go to yoga and get all gross again? You asked. We'll keep the docs open. Actually, yeah, we're gonna close. We don't need this open or that open. How many sheep are we at now? 91. We're gonna close this. We'll keep that open. Close that. Compliance. If you need compliance, they've got it. Smart. Again, enterprise. Let's see. Okay. Potch only stopped by for a little bit because the royalty-free music today is not various jazz renderings of Happy Birthday played in succession like yesterday. Lonnie, thank you. I got my hair cut last week, or the week before, but I am due for a wash. But yeah. My new hairstylist did a great job. My new hairstylist is friends with my old hairstylist. What serendipity. Is that the right word for it? I don't know. Okay, so migrating full stack render. Start the process of migrating to render on Glitch and GitHub. This is from the Glitch help docs. So we click export, download project. I really should caption this. From the tools menu, once downloaded, find the file and unzip the download project in your Finder, Mac, or File Manager. This works, but just know that when you download a project from the editor, it will not include any assets that you have dragged in and imported. If you want those assets and you don't want to have to do it manually, go to support.glitch.com. If you're not logged in, the things will be properly pinned. But Pomax on the Glitch team made a script, and in one of those threads, Potch made a graphical user interface for it that will export all of your projects, including the assets, because the assets on Glitch are in an S3 bucket, separate from the code. And so that's why when you export it, you'll have like a .glitch assets file that has URLs on the S3 bucket. I'm pointing in that direction because I don't know why I'm pointing towards South Jersey. But yeah, use that. Marty says, I watched part of the VOD from yesterday and the happy birthday renditions were like a psychic attack. It's so funny because I didn't have the music. I could not hear it. So I showed on the stream and I literally just searched royalty free jazz. It was like a jazz playlist. I didn't know that you could do royalty free happy birthday. I don't know. I don't make any money off of this. So if YouTube gets mad at me, it's their fault. I got it from them. I learned it from you, Dad. Okay, so, where was I? Oh, I keep getting lost because the Glitch help docs have the Salesforce cloud. In the repo, wait, once downloaded, unzip the download project, okay, create a new code repo. Only the contents. Oh, interesting. I wonder why they have you downloading all the code and creating repo versus creating repo and exporting from Glitch. Anyway, basically, you gotta do what you gotta do to get it into a GitHub repo. Because again, that's like how you can deploy stuff. Commit changes main branch. Happy birthday used to be copyrighted, but came out copyrighted several years ago. Okay. I just remember growing up, my dad would always like tell me things that like you're not allowed to do, but like it didn't actually like impact me. He like, you know, I don't think this is true. I don't really care to look it up, but like my dad told me that Gene Simmons like is the only person that's allowed to call orange juice OJ because he trademarked it. Now, even if he did trademark it, that's not like how that works. But like, I don't know, why are you telling your fucking like 7-year-old daughter like you're not allowed to say OJ because only Gene Simmons can? Like, I fucking gave a shit or knew who Gene Simmons was. So I grew up being like, oh, you can't sing happy birthday like on like a monetized platform because, you know, I also was a child of Kazaa, so my father had me allegedly downloading stuff all the time for him. So for somebody who was like, oh, you can't say OJ, he was fine with things that benefited him. Anyway, getting started in Render. Render helps software developers ship products fast at any scale. Create an account, which I did. From the projects menu, find deploy a web service. Select your project's repository from the list populated on the screen. On the following screen, enter in a unique name for your service. Select the free hobbyist edition. Okay, so let's like straight up do that. But what I want to do, oh, I hate GitHub. I'm gonna create a new repo. Oh, I can't create an Apache. CSS perfect. I'm gonna create repo name. Presence or bugs. I'm gonna add a readme file because I'm gonna try to just export it from Glitch. And just remind, there are assets on this. Whatever. Create. CSS perverts mentioned. Okay. Let's export. Tools, export. Whatever. Oh, that's right. There's no images. I'm using emoji. Mother's Nature's images. Mother Nature's images. Mother's Nature's images? I gotta finish my coffee. Okay. I was asked yesterday why not make Vach just involuntarily clapped. I was asked in a variety of words, why doesn't AI perverts exist? And I get occasionally asked like why I don't write satire anymore, text satire, and there's many reasons, but when it comes to writing satire about AI, I feel like so many people are so far gone in media literacy. Like, things are a lot different today than it was in 2015. And it's not that it wouldn't be funny to me and to some people, but I don't know, like, I wrote a satirical post about Bitcoin, and it was by far the largest, like, backlash I had gotten from a community. It wasn't as bad as, like, how the Haskell community, like, responded to, like, one joke, but that was, like, a few people. Whereas Bitcoin is, like, a lot of people. And they were, like, not exactly tech savvy. There's parallels between the Bitcoin community, or cryptocurrency community in general, and the AI evangelists. If you go to Live Laugh blog, I wrote this not long ago, January, this past last year, January. I wrote a 10-year retrospective of when I wrote a case against Bitcoin. And I add some commentary response to the comments and stuff like that. So if you want to, like, read about that thing. So I was writing about Bitcoin, January 31st, 2014. A very long time ago. And the response to that was insane. It was very funny, but it was like a niche group. AI responds similarly, but it's more like widespread because the stakes are higher. So much money from Silicon Valley has been invested, Silicon Valley and just globally has been invested in AI, that, like, heads are just, like, further down in the sand. And it feels like being a woman on the internet comes with, like, a level of danger. And I'm not being, like, I'm not being dramatic. There's danger. If you deny there's danger, like, grow up, wake up. But there's a added level when you write about a thing that, like, pokes a kind of bear. And the AI community is a very large, angry, easy to taunt bear. To the point where the danger, the possible outcome, kind of outweighs the, like, joy and fun of the troll. I'm just not very incentivized to do it, essentially. But I think about it all the time. I write satire in my head all the time. My friends that talk to me in person, like, and y'all have seen it, like, when you're regular stream, I've got bits for days. Yeah, it's just like there's an immense lack of humor literacy and media literacy to make it, like, worthwhile. The people who would get it were kind of in a state where, like, they already have the same ideas, the same satire in their mind, so it's redundant. Or, you know, I mean, people are losing their jobs. People have lost their jobs. So it's also kind of the line between humor and sensitivity is very, very fragile and thin. Like, the danger is in punching down on the people who get the humor but have been negatively impacted, and so they're validly in a sensitive state. Not so much am I worried about punching down on the people who fall for it. And so I am not trying to cause more harm in the form of my humor. I believe this is something that you humans call empathy. So, but I do think about that stuff all the time. Anyway, presents or bugs. Now that we have a GitHub repo, we're going to find from the projects menu on the left-hand side, find deploy a service. New. Projects. 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 New web service. Oh, okay, here we go. I have a public Git repository. I love that it immediately yells at me. Re-fucking-lax. I'm typing it. Connect. Oh, is it private? Project. Do I have to configure in GitHub? It is a... Oh my god. Did I just type it wrong? You seem to be using Node, so we've autofilled some fields accordingly. Make sure the values look right to you. A unique name. Create a project? Sure. Glitch. Language Node. Branch main. Region Oregon. No, we're gonna do East. Root directory. If set, render runs commands from this directory instead of the repository directory. That's, we don't need that. Everything is as is here. $92. Build command, npm install, node server. We can confirm that in the package JSON. We don't have a build. We just start. Well, npm install, because we have to install all of our packages for hobby projects. This is a hobby project. Starter $7. That's for professional. Okay, so I can have a hobby account, but I can pay for professional, standard, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Environment variables. We do not need them. But, and you would know if you needed them if you had a .env file, which I don't have here. Let's look at advanced. Secret files, no. Health check path, no. Pre-deploy command. I said true. Bitcoin did not result in my old high school debate partners say things like to me like, "What's up, Lottie? I can't decide if I should refactor once more or spend my time building AI agents." Oh man. The thing about AI satire is that unlike Bitcoin, AI, artificial intelligence, which is like a pillar of like theoretical computer science, has been a topic for so long. There's lots of lore in the form of science fiction, fantasy novels, movies about like the harms of like AI. And anything that is harmful can be turned into humor. Like childhood trauma. That's why I'm so funny. So there's also just like a lot of the stuff that can be written like has been decades ago. You just have to like apply it to this or whatever. Modern serverless. MCP means make candles blaze. Oh my gosh. Builds filters. Okay, whatever. We're deploying. I love this like deploy in 5 minutes and me, I take an hour because I talk so fucking much, and they should account for that. False advertising. I'm just kidding. So your free instance will spin down with inactivity, which can delay requests by 50 seconds or more. Upgrade now. Now we watch it build. Now what I gotta do now is I do have to set up a local version of this code that's running because I just exported from Glitch. And that works, by the way. So the help doc here, I think that's just because they made Jen make it and she's less familiar with using Glitch in GitHub. But you could just export your project to a GitHub repo and all you gotta do is set that GitHub repo to go. Presents or bugs is live. Now here's the problem. I need to make a change. I know immediately that this is not going to... Oh, does it work? Okay. So you know what's going on right now? Is I have to... We're like on Glitch. We are on the Glitch server right now. There's no WebSocket server being hit on presents or bugs. What we have to do is we have to edit. Oh, on the client. I have to edit this to be the render. So presents or bugs.glitch.me. So let's do that. Okay. So let's copy this. I'm using Nova by Panic. It's my editor as per usual. And I'm going to add a project. Or I'm going to clone. Got my repo URL. Clone. We're going to put it in presents or bugs. Cool. So now, in Nova, you can create a task, which I'm gonna do. I sometimes use an env variable for the deployed host so I can do local servers. Oh, that's a good idea. We can try that out. Whoopsie, didn't mean to do this. Okay, so I'm creating just like, no, not node debug. So Nova, we're creating a task. Install. Run. Start. Done. I'm gonna build. Oh, I have to have... Wait, I want to show on run. Done. We're gonna build. Cool. We have the app listening. See, this is still... It's still on the glitch one, which is why all these bugs and stuff are here. Ah. So... First thing we want to do is... Okay, we're already ignoring that stuff. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of glitch assets. I'm gonna add .nova. Public client. And just to confirm, we want it to be presents are bugs on render.com. Error while forming. Rise says cannot be destructured. What's destructured? Whatever. Okay, so let's run. Oh, do I have something? Oh, you're trying to format git ignore? Shut up. I don't know what that deal is. Okay. So this should be good enough. I'm going to commit to this, push it out. Let's see if render has... Oh, I have to go to GitHub, that's right. Let me see if it... Okay. So, let's push the main. So render should deploy, connect. Oh, does it do it manually? Oh, maybe because I have it connected to the public app and I don't have it connected to my GitHub account, I have to do it manually. Because I wasn't going to go into my GitHub settings and like show you all my permission stuff because I don't know like how private any of that is, but yeah. So now there we go. So now y'all should be able to go to the new render server and join me in presence or bugs.onrender.com. Yay. So after, I think it said, I don't know how long it will take to spin down. This is like the glitch after like a few minutes of like 5 minutes of inactivity, the container will fall asleep. If it goes down with inactivity, it will come back up when anyone like goes to here. But imagine if none of us do anything or move for a while, it'll just like break. Or just the WebSocket will close. But then if you refresh, it'll come back awake. Oh, someone's feeding the bug to me. Yummy. Hold on. Okay. Pretty easy experience. Okay, so in terms of onboarding, the one page wasn't really working for me, but I figured it out. I've done this stuff before. But if you're completely new to using a service where you're having to move something to hosting and you're not familiar exactly with GitHub, it takes quite a few steps. What I want to do is what Potch had suggested. What if I don't want to hard code this and I want to make this an environment variable? So that'll be a to-do item, but for now this is fine. I do want to see if I can, oh, we have a CLI, command line interface. Manage your render resources from the command line. Did you install the render CLI before November 24th? No. Okay, so you install render, you can log in, blah blah blah. And you can set a workspace. Yeah, you're right, you're right. You can't do process M in the client. On the server, yes, but all you can do is mess with window location origin if it's JS running in the browser. That's true. Yeah, like you can get the window location and just do / whatever. Did you install the render CLI before November 24? If so, can you please send us the zip file because we have no record of it and we are render. Can someone please give us our CLI for November 2024? We had a catastrophic data loss. Okay. Authentication, GitHub Actions, the REST API. And you can be sure that presence or bugs is HIPAA compliant. You have code that looks like this. Oh, that's cool. New WebSocket. Yeah. That's great. That's a great idea. Yeah, so we're gonna do window.location.origin organ it's replace, right? You know, PHP developers know. And then we want to replace HTTPS with cool. Let's run this. the client. Actually, we go in DevTools. Inspector. Network. WebSockets. Origin host. Ba-ba-da. You can test it by having multiple windows open. See, they're moving here, they're moving there. An elegant test. Cool, this is great. Thanks, Potch, for the tip. I wish I thought about that before I made that a glitch starter and I had to have in the README, like, make sure you edit this. More resilient. Gosh, I can't type for crap. Commit. Push. Now I would like to wait. Miracle close tab. I would like to figure out how to make this connect a repository. I don't want to only select. So I guess I logged in, but I didn't install. I'm guessing Jamie's using render on the Botnik Studios org. That's why that's coming up. Okay. So now I should be able to set this, connect this. Your services are connected, so it's probably... Yeah, but like, can it deploy it as soon as I make a change? That's what I want. Sorry, I'm yelling. Render gift card. Well, we're at the... Maybe because I'm not paying, it will have to be manual. But it works. Render works. And what I want to explore next is how many projects can I do on render for free? Our app is listening. Okay, I'm putting the link back in. Let me know. Well, I'll know if anybody actually joins because you'll pop up. Or I could just do. Okay. There you go. There we go. Yes. Make me kiss the bug. Make me eat the bug. Some ideas for apps, like, I can make a polling app. Imagine like like a Venn diagram or like squares here, and I'm just like, go to where you want to go to have like a live polling app. That's like that's like a fun stream thing to do. Actually, I think I'll build that. Let me add that to my list of project ideas. You know, when I should be making candles, but on my instance of the app, the face is in a different place based on browser size. Yeah, that makes sense. 'Cause, yeah, you're right. I should fix that. You're right. You're right. I should have it be fixed from the left. Let's do that. I can do that real quick. So, I also realize I have to have this here. Style. View. Okay. Presents or bugs. Okay. Gen state. Well, let's. So when you feed the bug the face, it's just a joke for you. Well, gen state. What if we said that font size 10 em, padding was 0. So we'll just fix it to that. Whoop. That's jennifer.com. I mean, we could all, yeah, that's what we'll do. Gen state. We're gonna increase we're gonna make it just so it's like a little off. And then, let's see. I'm gonna have to remove the glitch part here because that code jam site's gonna. Oh, this is not local. Oopsie. Where's my local version? I don't have it. And also, Click your cursor. I'm gonna make it in lowercase because that's just how I type. I almost wrote markdown. Ew. Also, look at this. Has my URL been wrong the entire time for this past year? It's missing the .com. This is wrong site. There we go. Info. Let's see. We want to make info. We're going to get rid of that max width. And then a mobile. Cool. Gorgina. Thanks for speaking up, Stefan. Because I didn't even consider that. Light styling. I would like to try to, one more try, see. Gotta run, good rendering, great present, bug saying, thanks for stream. Thanks for joining, Marty, as always. Have a good day. I guess there's no way to connect it. Close this. Let's close some of this stuff. Also sells a glitch favicon. Let's get rid of that. I know that like if you don't have a favicon, you should be able to do this. You should be able to set an emoji as an icon. But you can't. Whatever, I'll leave it for now. I'll fix it later. Story of my life. Oh yeah. Commit. Push out. I had reason to re-educate myself on favicons recently. It made me a little sad. I hate that the browser will be like, error. Like it's an error that you don't have it. And yeah, it's obnoxious. Look, it says what the commit is. Now's a good time to remind any of the lurkers in here, like and subscribe. I've been streaming pretty much Monday through Thursday every week. To migrate my glitch apps. Deploy, deploy. She's got rhythm. She's got music. Beautiful. Now, everyone has the fixed emoji they can all feed the bugs. And the mouth's a little bigger to fit the bugs. Kiss the bug, kiss the bug. There you go, look at that. Thank you for whoever's in there showing up. Yeah, so now, I have this open because Adam talked about it yesterday. This is the Skyware Blue Sky framework. So I have that tab open, but I guess you can clone my project. It feels way better. You're right. Repositories. You can make your own copy. So there we go. We've exported from Glitch. And now I can go to my dashboard and do the thing that breaks my heart, but has to be done. Create a redirect. So if your glitch project is going somewhere else, if you're migrating glitch project elsewhere, you can create a redirect so that, in my case, presents or bugs that glitch on me will be redirecting to presentsorbugs.onrender.com. And Fastly will be supporting those redirects until December 2026. So you'll still want to go to wherever you mention the glitch app and change it, but that's what they committed to. And there we go. And I think you can only manage redirects of active projects, right? Yeah. I'm going to move post-grunge now. But yeah, so now so free instances should not be used for production applications, but they're perfect for testing out new stuff, a hobby project, blah, blah, blah. But if you want to... Okay, it spins down 15 minutes without receiving inbound traffic. I don't know if that traffic includes WebSocket requests or HTTP. Backs up when it receives new one. It takes up to a minute. Understandable. Render grants 750 free instance hours. This is similar to Glitch. Glitch gave you 1,000 free project hours. 4,000. Well, I had Glitch Pro. Bandwidth. I have to be honest with you. I know what bandwidth is. I've never had to care about it beyond like free account limitations. When I was using GeoCities in my younger age, I had a quite popular Weezer fan site, and the forum someone from the Weezer forum was always saying that my site was down, and that's because I would update it and I would share in the forum, and then everybody would go to it, and GeoCities is like, you used up all your bandwidth, and I'd be like, well, give me more. Like, what do you mean you used up all my bandwidth? And so it was frustrating. So I used to have to make multiple sites. I basically had like 5 mirrors of my Weezer fan site. Jen, I think Jen Likes Weezer was what it was called. Because I'm Jen, and I liked Weezer. You can view your usage details. That's nice. From the billing page. Free pipeline minutes. Is that like nighttime minutes? But in a pipeline to something bad and sinister? The Arcade Fire's high bandwidth. I once dated a musician, and when Arcade Fire had bought that church, to, I think, was it, what was that Arcade Fire record? This is called Black Mirror, right? That's the show. Arcade Fire. Neon Bible. For Mirror, I was thinking Reflector. So I think like Neon Bible, they had like bought that church. Yes, thank you, Benjamin. And I was dating a musician at the time, and he was like, nearby where we lived, there was like an abandoned church. It was condemned because it was like decrepit. And he was like, maybe we should buy the church. And I was just like, what do you mean we? Like, I was like in grad school. So I'm buying a fucking church. I just, now whenever I see like a band does like a crazy thing, I'm like, oh, those poor people who are dating musicians who are like, maybe I should do that too. And it's something that like, I love Arcade Fire. Really talented musicians. But also like famous and like on a major label. But you know, in like the late 2000s, early 2000s, when like indie music was big, like what indie music meant was not actually like independent. Indie was a sound, not a like a financial state. So there are people who are like, oh yeah, like indie rock, like Arcade Fire, when like were they on like Warner Brothers, like Funeral is out, Sony Music Entertainment. Oh yeah, there is a song called Black Mirror on Yamaha. That's okay. Thank you. I thought it was going crazy. And Posh said maybe I should do a Haribo collab. Poch knows that this is driving me nuts. Also, not the fucking Warner Music Group press release. What the chokehold that Linkin Park cash grabs like have on like Warner Music Group's planning committee, like it's insane. So Haribo is launching an exclusive special edition for the global rock band Linkin Park. It's insane. They have like guitars. Oh, they don't mention the skull. One of the shapes is a skull, which drove me nuts because I was like, why is there a skull? Like, that's such a weird poser shape for a Linkin Park gummy. Right? I don't know. But yeah, so they're Haribo Linkin Park gummies, and gosh, I hope Mike Shinoda has so much fucking money. I hope that like all these like cash grab things that like Warner Music has been forcing upon Linkin Park is like making Mike Shinoda rich. God bless him. Mike Shinoda and I have the same birthday, by the way. Not same year, but same birthday, February 11th. Aquarius King. Skulls are rock and roll. I just feel like it's such a like, I don't know. It was funny. Maybe I'm just being like a gatekeeping fan of both Linkin Park and Haribo gummies. But I saw the skull, I was like, come on, guys. We could have thought a little, like, I want a little bit more thought in it. This is coming from someone who owns like 4 different vinyls of Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory, because Warner Music keeps like coming out with different kinds of versions of it, but not like different enough for me to actually have it all. It's kind of like, I think people think it's a bit and like it's like a gag, and it's like, no, like the gag is that I am a sucker, but I've stopped. I've been on a no buy for like records that aren't by like my actual friends in a long time. I've only bought probably Open Mike Eagle records the past few months, because none of my other friends are putting out records. A lot of them are doing like cassettes and stuff, but Open Mike Eagle has a new record coming out. It's on pre-order. Cool. Okay, so, well, there we did it. Presents or bugs. I got my WebSocket app, and we did it all in under 95 and then under 96 sheep. So my thoughts on render. I like it. It feels like a really good, it's like, it has parity with glitch and then some. Like, there are things like I haven't even explored like cron jobs, multi-service architectures, which this would be useful if you like had like a MongoDB database. Like glitch, you can only use one port. I'm assuming that might be the case for render, at least for free. Render seems less abandoned than Heroku, which I like. Yeah, it's not in the Salesforce cinematic universe. I know that people are turned off by like when you go to the site, you see introducing HIPAA compliant workspaces out in self-serve BAI. There's a fine balance that's necessary in making your website speak to developers and also speak to enterprise. If they're only speaking to developers, that tells me that most of their runway is from fundraising, and having been from being the part of a startup to acquisition to now dealing with the shutdown, although I don't work there anymore, I'm dealing with it as a user. If I'm going to invest my time and my code in a cloud provider, this like working on compliance and enterprise is like a green flag to me. But I also don't want them to lean heavily on only enterprise and ignore the hobby developers. This is something Fastly struggled with. Fastly, like Glitch is very much siloed from the rest of Fastly's products, and Fastly was like, we need to reach developers, but they're also heavily enterprise, and they didn't know how to talk to developers, and they wouldn't really let us do what we could do to talk to developers. So like they haven't figured out that balance, if they even want it. And the fact that Render has like this big deployer app for free, along with contact sales, like the fact that I was able to join and create an app, and I'm checking my phone and I didn't even have to enter my phone number. Like, it's like, okay, they know that I'm a developer, they know I'm a hobbyist, it's literally called hobby. So they're like not only dealing with that, but they're celebrating it by having that as a tier. That's a green flag to me as well. I don't know the values of the company because I don't know the people like who run it. I could go to, actually, you know what? Let's do that. I'm gonna go to the CEO's Twitter account, if they have one, and see what they're talking about. This goes to LinkedIn. Okay, mutual connection. Oh, I think he's formerly Stripe. Because he's got mutual with Alex, Tierney, a bunch of Fastly folks. Yeah, okay. And I have the Jersey Script Twitter logged in on my phone. Because that stuff matters to me. Because I am often one to, like yesterday I did Valtown, and people are like, I'm going to sign up for Valtown now. I have a responsibility to not recommend things that are run by people that are perpetuating harm. Like, for example, what I'm going to look for is when Trump was elected, the CEO be like, Trump, congrats, which is what Guillermo Rauch from Versailles had done. That might not be something that matters to you, and that's fine. Use whatever service you want to use, but this is more about me feeling comfortable recommending it to people who know me and know the stuff that I care about. And so I will be looking at social media. Da, 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 da. Oh, he linked to the James Dyson's demo of the Dyson Fluffy Cones. Go on YouTube, search Dyson, like the official Dyson account, and last month they demoed their new Fluffy Cones. I'm not a Dyson user, it's a bit rich for my blood, but it's a great demo and a great example of like innovation in tech that's just solving like a problem that doesn't cause harm. Like, they're making vacuums work better at picking up hair, which is like a huge problem. It was a problem I had at the time. And so the CEO of Render recommended that, reminded me. I mentioned that in the Live Laugh blog, like retro. I can't show this on my, I can't show the Twitter on my phone because I don't have Twitter logged into my computer, and Twitter is like useless if you aren't logged in. I have a Jersey Script account. I don't post personally on there. So the day after Trump was inaugurated, Render announced a Series C funding for $80 million. So that's all that was about. I don't know. Seems like they just talk about code and render, which is really all you can ask for in a CEO. Bare minimum. So, yeah. So I think it's worth checking out. There is the migration doc on the Glitch Help Center, but again, you don't have to do the whole download and then move it to GitHub. You could just export from Glitch to GitHub, and then you connect the GitHub to the render project, and then you're good to go. They are independent, Series C at least, raised in January, but they have enterprise. but not like so hardcore enterprise. I think that their pricing page is really easy to read and understand. And they offer a lot of stuff that doesn't really matter to me as a hobbyist yet, but it seems like it's very versatile to scale. So I'll be looking at this now. What I want to know is, I'm guessing because it's based on hours similar to Glitch, that means that I have unlimited projects that I can create. Blueprints or infrastructure as code, environment variables. Within Glitch, I have services. So organized deployments. So it's basically like this is like a workspace. This is similar to DigitalOcean. You can have like groups, I think they're called, where I have my like .coms group and I have my Mastodon one. But yeah, so that's cool. I think what I want to do then is I'll probably add a section to jenschiffer.com in Webwing, like a box of like WebSocket server apps. And I do have to think about how I'm open sourcing this stuff. It is on GitHub now, but I have to think like, is that what I want to be my solution in the long term? So yeah. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it for me today. I gotta finish my coffee now that the ice is all melted. I have aerial yoga finally after a week of missing out because it's so hot out. Cooler today though. And this weekend I have a my second bookbinding workshop. I think we're gonna start sewing stuff. I won't be streaming tomorrow. I'm just streaming Monday through Thursdays. Those are my work days. I'm instituting a 4-day work week on myself because I can, blessedly. So I'll see you on Monday, and I'm gonna try to find like an app with a database and see how I can get that going on Valtown versus Render. But I also would like to try out Fly.io, which I had only used years ago. Fly.io is fairly new, but they've also been around since like before Glitch days, I think 2017. They pivoted a few times. For Glitch, we used to use Fly.io for generating SSL certs for custom domains. The legacy domains, if you will, on Glitch. So whenever the legacy domains break, it's because the server that Fly.io has of them gets like borked because it's a very, very legacy like architecture. They're probably gonna be quite happy to know they don't have to deal with that server anymore once the shutdown happens. But Fly.io is similar to Render. So I like to try I don't know if I have an account. I do. But I haven't, it looks so different to when I first started using it. Like I used to use it for the Make 8-Bit Art domain. But I don't even think I have a host attached to it. Yeah. So, I'm gonna go through the process of creating a new account and onboarding and whatever, and see what I want to move forward doing, Render or this, and what the differences are. If you have other tools, other hosting platforms that you would want me to try out, let me know. I can't promise you I will, but I want to know what's like out there, because I've been using Glitch because I was working there for 8+ years. So I'm getting into like the landscape of like similar options out there from a non like, I used to look at them as like a competitive kind of sense. So yeah, cool. Okay, well, I hope you all have a good rest of your Thursday. Have a good weekend. Like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or just like if you don't want to come back again. My contact info is all on jenschiffer.com. I'm going to pop that in the chat. This is what it looks like. You can draw on it. And maybe, I can connect this to a WebSocket server so everyone can draw on it. How fun would that be? But yeah, have a good one, and I will see you on youtube.com.